All right, I'm alive. Novak News, myself, Billy Drury, Jade Hiddens. It's your first one on the show.
It is.
Tonight we're talking about the dynamics of real estate, how we at Novak manage 3,000 tenants and landlords. Stay tuned to find out a little bit more on Novak News. All right, let's get into it. Thanks for joining us. Guys, tonight we're talking about the dynamics of real estate, how we at Novak manage 3,000 landlords and tenants' homes, finding the balance and our style in this crazy industry. How are you, Jade?
I'm good. How are you, Billy?
Good. So let's start. What do we actually do at Novak? What are our roles? Let's start there.
So I'm the assistant to Cleo. So I'm an assistant property manager.
Yep.
Billy?
I myself work in leasing. So the way we work at Novak is we've got 3 people to a pod.
Yeah.
The portfolio of 1,600 homes with one of the largest independent offices in the country, would you believe it? And the way we run our portfolio is we've got 3 senior property managers and underneath that 3 assistant.
2 to 3 people that work underneath. So you've got a senior property manager, you've got a leasing consultant, and then an assistant property manager. So it's a pretty, segregated, split up way of, doing things.
Yeah. And do you want to talk about the reason why we do that?
Yeah, so I think the reason we do that is we have so many properties. So within your pod, Billy and I, we work together. So basically any properties that come through for us, I deal with all of the maintenance and any current tenants and, strata and things like that. Billy deals with all of our new tenants, any leasing applications, any prospective people coming through. And then Cleo, who's our senior property manager, overlooks all of that. And she, deals with the main correspondence with our owners. So she's the main face of our pod. And then we aid her with, maintenance and leasing.
But it works well having the 3 segregated roles. Everyone knows what they're doing.
Yeah, there's no blurred lines. So, as soon as an email or an inquiry or anything comes through, and if it's our property, we know exactly who's handling what role and, who it needs to go to get the job done. So it just means it's really efficient as well. Yeah,
nothing gets missed out. As soon as that email or inquiry comes through the door, straight on to the appropriate person. They obviously have the most appropriate knowledge, straight on the top of their fingertips to get the answers or queries sorted out.
And I think that's a good point as well. Like, we're specialized. Like, Billy is a leasing consultant. Like, he's a specialist. It's all he does day in and day out is dealing with applications. So, he knows exactly what to look for to find the perfect tenant for a property. And then same with me. Like, I know all the answers for all the questions to do with strata and maintenance. And I've got all our handymen on speed dial. And I've built really good, solid relationships because they deal with me often, and it's just me.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so when an issue does arise, if it's for the property, we get the appropriate person straight onto it. And this really benefits everyone, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It just runs smoothly. It's a nice, smooth process.
Yeah. So if for our prospective tenants submitting applications, in our pod, I look after that up until their move-in date. So I arrange all the paperwork to be sent out nice and fast. And then when the exciting days of key collection comes up, they collect their keys and then sort of onto you from...
Yeah, and then they get the handover of, welcome to your new home. Jade will now be your first point of contact for any, queries that you may have during your tenancy. So it's very clear cut. Billy is pre-tenancy and I'm during tenancy. And then, Cleo is the senior property manager. She deals with any questions that we may have, and she just oversees both of our roles as well, which is really great.
That's it. And times that by 3, we've got 3 independent groups doing that at Novak. That's how we've successfully built our portfolio up to 1,600 homes, which is absolutely huge.
Yeah. And it's one of the largest independent agencies as well. You know, we service lots and lots of properties and owners and tenants, because basically, you know, it's a well-rounded thing. It's not just the property and it's not just about the owners. We are all about providing a service to everyone and making sure that, you know, we do our job and we make sure that everyone has the best experience with Novak.
That's it. And we've broken away a little bit maybe from the industry standard, where traditionally you'd have one person doing everything.
Trying to juggle all three roles, you know, and they may drop the ball in one sense because they're so busy trying to deal with the other two balls that they've got up in the air. Whereas we're specialized, we know exactly what we're doing, and it's very streamlined, I would say.
That's it. So we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of our, like, breaking it down into the three roles. For our landlords, do you want to go into what's
for our landlords? You know, obviously we are such a large agency. They know that I am their main point of contact for any questions that they've got. And same with Cleo. They come to me and Cleo, and they know that, you know, we're able to get in contact with the owners quickly and sort out any of their maintenance or questions that they may have during their tenancy. So that's a really big benefit.
Yeah, you've got three leading the show, which is nice, really reassuring for the two juniors underneath them, to know that you've got some experience on your back, backing you all the way. For our tenants, it just means a quicker turnaround, getting answers back to you. Like I said, as soon as those inquiries come through the door, you've got a leasing representative there showing the properties. You've got the facts proper and straight at the open homes. There's no secrets, and you don't have a million things all going on at once like a normal property manager or a different agency. And for the property itself, we know what needs to be looked after, what might need bringing attention to.
During the regular routines that I do and that the maintenance agent will do, you get a good idea of, you know, if this property was to come back on the market, what would be viable and what would really help elevate that property. So having that knowledge before a property is, you know, put live, it means that you can do little bits of maintenance in between tenancies, which is really important to get the most rental return and to keep your property in a good maintained well. If you've got long-term tenants and you've just got a really high turnover of tenants, it may not be in the best condition unless you get in there and you take advantage of that time that you may have in between to get what needs to be done, whether it's new paint, new carpet, and you really utilize that time and you make sure that it stays in a really great condition.
And as far as the tenant representation, like my job, we know what tenants are looking for. It's not always huge renovations that are required.
No.
We've spoken about it before, but sometimes having fly screens installed, a proper steam clean,
some
on
paint, some new carpet. You know, people love feeling like it's nice and fresh and new for them. Like, obviously, people understand that some properties are just for rentals, but they don't want to feel like so many different people have lived in their home before them. They want it to feel nice and fresh and new. And, you know, it is simple little things like getting the carpets changed, which can actually be quite, you know, cost effective as well. And getting a fresh coat of paint, it can honestly make the biggest difference for when, you know, that first prospective tenant walks through the door. They're like, oh, this is so nice. And what was I going to say? And like one example of that is an LED upgrade, which LED
we do
upgrade as well.
For a number of our landlords. You have the like you say, you have the tradesperson on dial.
Got the connections.
It's instantaneous, straight through the door, job gets done.
And because we do it so often, we know the price or the rough price guide of these things, you know, so we don't have to waste the time either getting someone in to fully quote, we can give you that rough guide and then you can decide if it's something you want to do, because we do it so frequently and it's something that we really see as being a benefit as well.
Yeah, that's it. And I mean, not all tradespeople do it, but we have seen in the past different quotes come back when you inquire on a personal basis versus us as Novak putting forward a quote. You may experience getting two different numbers back. Yeah. We have great trust in our tradespeople.
And they understand as well the business, because, having a rental property for some people is like having a business. You want the maximum results and the maximum rental return, so you don't want to have your property vacant for weeks or months while you're doing these renos. We use trusted tradespeople who understand that, and they get in and they get the job done.
Yeah.
And they know that, we're on a strict timeline and they're good, they're trusted, they're good.
Yeah, a lot quicker. And overall, it saves a landlord money.
Yeah.
You've got 3 people working for you all at the same time versus one person.
Yeah.
Just, trying to get everything done. But we do 3 full-time roles here.
Yeah. For
one person trying to juggle it all, it'd be a tough gig.
Definitely. I don't think that it could be done, and things would definitely fall through the cracks. This is basically a really streamlined, foolproof way of making sure that everyone is serviced.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you were left on your own to do it all yourself, you wouldn't be able to scale that and meet the number of landlords, tenants, and service the number of properties that we do.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you want to talk a little bit about what, like two, 3 key things in your role that makes it you good at your job?
I think you have to be organized. It's something that I'm very strict on. I love a calendar. I've been teaching Billy how to set it all up, but I think it's so important. And also having a notepad right on your desk, and every single call that you receive, just taking as much data and information, and that way you've literally got a call log of who's called into the office, who they wanted to speak to, what they wanted to speak about. And then, when other different people call, you've got this written record of conversations you've had as well. It's not always the most readable because sometimes you're writing quite quickly, but you've still got it there, and you can go back at a later date and be like, oh, what was that quote that he's verbally told me over the phone? So I think it's really just about being organized. And then I would also say following up as well. So following up with tenants on requests and tradies, and making sure that all of the dots are connected and are followed through. I think that's one way that things can definitely fall through the cracks if you're not on top of things, because everyone lives busy lives, you know, so it's about knowing what work you've actioned and then following through and making sure that it's complete as well. I think that's a massive thing, is the follow-up.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, that carries through all the roles.
Definitely.
People coming through the door, whether that's the property for them or not, we have plenty of others to offer. So yeah, if they didn't like the property they saw on a Wednesday or Saturday, we'll definitely have something else that might be of interest.
Yeah. Definitely.
And one other thing that, comes to mind is these 3 separate roles offers a really good opportunity to get into real estate. If you're thinking about, I don't know what I want to do, well, then you get a taste of 3 really separate, combined jobs. Yeah. And also offers someone that's thinking about getting into the industry to sort of choose which bit of the business they like. Yeah. We're all under property management. So even that is, it's very separate to sales, yet within the property management team, we've got three individuals doing 3 completely separate jobs, but all rely upon each other. Yeah,
we do. And that, I think that's the biggest thing, is that taking one person out of, each of these groups or out of the whole team, everyone is a really vital part of it. and everyone knows their role so well. And we are quite dynamic in the way that we're able to all work together. And it's a really big team. Basically, we wouldn't be able to run, and service so many properties and tenants and owners successfully and happily if we all didn't work together as well. I think that's also the biggest part of it. It's a massive teamwork building exercise every day, I would say, coming in and, making sure that everyone is happy and that we're not letting anything go.
That's it. You can't drop the ball on one part, as it really does flow onto your team.
It does.
And it is, it's not like sales where it might be one person running the show with a couple of assistants in the background.
Everyone is a key part. Some would say that the journey starts with Billy, with who he chooses, who's successful to go into the property. So everyone is extremely vital, and it has a knock-on effect, of how a tenancy can go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's it, guys. Look, we just wanted to have a quick chat tonight about how we run our PM side of things at Novak, how we built, should I say Mark and Lisa have built such an awesome company here so successfully. Before we leave, we've got a huge congratulations to Lisa speaking at ARIC over the today and yesterday. A huge event up in Gold Coast.
Yeah.
That's been really, really interesting and awesome to have all those awesome agents talking on real estate.
Yeah, we'll definitely get there next year, won't we?
I have to say I'm very upset.
I know,
I missed out this year.
Yeah.
But someone's going to hold the fort. And that's a wrap, guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. If you'd like any more information on, how we run things at Novak specific to your property, we'd love to have a chat. Drop on by the office, give the office a call. We'd love
to see you and explain and help you out as the best we can. Yeah.
Novak service,
definitely.
All right, guys. Cheers. Thank you.
Thanks.